So let's start. Today we will discuss about housing and its impact of on well-being. Factors of housing which impact how the housing impacts well-being. Can you tell me to start with, is housing, the condition of housing is important for well-being, state of well-being of person or society? Yes. Can anyone tell me? Yes. Can anyone tell me? Yes. Housing and well-being. You can to start with. There are many components of well-being of housing: biological, chemical, physical, environmental. Yes, these are main components of well-being, and yes, social, which are related. These are main components of well-being which are related to the housing, the state of housing. Housing affects the well-being. So biological is, yes, biological impact of well-being. Yes, what is the biological component of housing that affects well-being? Yes, mainly it is pathogens, infectious organisms. If there are infectious organisms in your house, then it will affect your health, and in turn it will affect your well-being. Pathogens like viruses, like mold. You know mold? What is a mold? Yes. What is a mold? Fungus. Sometimes molds and fungus overlap with each other. Yes. Microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, virus we have written, and other microorganisms which cause disease, which cause infection in human beings. So, if your house is a breeding ground, a favorable, if your house is favorable for growth of these things, then what will happen? Yes, yes, Ashraf. If your house is a breeding ground, then what will happen?
So it cause fever, maybe some type of infection.
Yes, infection and diseases. And what that will do in turn, क्या होगा अगर ये बीमारियां आपको हो जाती हैं, अगर आपका घर ऐसा है जिसमें ये माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म ग्रो करते हैं, देन व्हाट विल हैपन? You will get infected and you will get a disease, and then yes,
then maybe become fatal to our.
Yeah, fatal, and if not fatal, then you are sick.
Yes, sir.
And that will affect your well-being negatively. It will affect your well-being negatively. Negative impact on well-being. You will have a, you will not have a sense of well-being. You will not feel comfortable. If you are sick, then you will not feel comfortable. If other things are good, but you are sick, you are a little sick, you have a little infection, however little an infection may be, but you will not feel good, and that will affect your well-being. We will talk about it later. But chemical. Chemical is what chemical component of housing is? Yes. What chemical component of housing is? Yes.
Medical.
Yes. Chemical is if the smoke is there, if harmful chemicals are there, if a bad odor is there, if a suffocating gas is there,
So detergent also sometimes
yes, your detergent, yes, excess of detergent is there, gases, so excess of detergent also, yes, you are right. Suffocating gases, say from a nearby plant, then they will adversely affect the sense of well-being.
Yes, sir. Sir, there are many cases come where some kid ate the right poison or
Yes,
something.
yes. There are many cases, there are many chemicals which can affect your well-being. Environmental, if your environment is bad, then it will affect your well-being. Environment, we are talking about physical environment here. If your environment, if it is too cold, or if it is um, fluctuating, if it goes to extremes, too cold and too hot, then your sense of well-being are affected. Yes.
Yep. Sir, polluted. What about the polluted? Polluted environment.
Yes, polluted environment, of course. Pollution affects. Yes, of course, pollution affects your well-being. And um, if some gas leaks, if some bad odor, if harmful chemical is in your drainage, if the climate is too hot or too cold or too humid, then it will affect your well-being, doesn't it? Then there is another component of well-being is social. Um, Social connections are very important, and one very important component is overcrowding. If there is an overcrowding in your house, then your well-being is affected negatively.
Yes, sir.
If five five persons are living in one room, and if you don't have privacy, lack of privacy, if lack of privacy is there, then it will affect your well-being. You will feel irritated all the time. If you are not, you need a little privacy always. You need a little space. If five people are living, sleeping in one room, then it will affect your well-being. Yes. And what affects the choice of these homes? Why you are living in a bad room, a bad house? Yes, that is yes. Why people know that these types of houses are bad for their well-being? Then why they are living in these houses?
Because of economic conditions.
Yes, affordability. They cannot afford good houses. Affordability. Affordability. If they don't have money to buy a decent house, then they are living in this, knowing all these bad elements or bad factors, negative factors, they are living. The affordability is, and with affordability sometimes comes the neighborhood. If your neighborhood, if you cannot afford a house in a decent surroundings, then you, if your neighbor is bad, suppose you were poor at one point of time, now you are prosperous, and you have uh, made your house comfortable, then, and you have all the trappings, all the material things there, still you are living in a bad neighborhood, then also your well-being is affected. It's very, very difficult to shift your house. And then stability, political and otherwise, stability is also very important. It is linked with neighborhood. And if the neighborhood is bad, then your social environment or social surroundings are not good.
Yes, sir.
So it affects your well being. Then some other factors like which affects the status of the house. These are some of the factors are ventilation. Ventilation is very important for well-being in your house. One element, ventilation of the house. What is ventilation? Can you tell me what is ventilation? Yes. What is ventilation? Yes. Can you tell me what is ventilation?
So space for passing air in a room.
Yes. The good passing of air. There is inlet and outlet, and the uh, coming and passing of the air. If that's not good, your house will be stale. Bad odor will be there, bad chemicals will stay there. So ventilation is very, very important. And then lighting is very important. Lighting. What type of lighting is good for your house?
So natural source of lighting, like from windows.
Yes, natural. If there is a natural source of lighting, natural source is good. If in the daytime you don't need to switch on the lamp, then it is good. In your house and in your office also. These are called green buildings. Artificial source of lighting, preferably in the daytime, is bad. So your house, the good house is that house. Yeah, at least you don't need any artificial light, or you need a minimum amount of artificial light. So that office is good. Yes, and if the lighting is too bright, then if the lighting is too bright, yes, if the lighting is too bright, then it is good or bad.
Also harmful, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Lighting is high, then sir, it is also bad for our health.
Yes. What type of lighting is bad? Yes. What that is called? Yes. What that is called? What that is called? That is called glare. If too much glare is there, that is also bad for your eyes and your health also. If you are living in too much light for a for an extended period of time, then it is too bad for your health and your well-being. It's not so that there is very intense light and you that is good always. That's not good. So what type of lighting should be there? The room or your house or your office should be well lit. If it is not well lit, if it is too bright, too much light is there, and it is also bad. Or too little light, of course, that is bad. And you need some sunlight. हमने महसूस किया होगा कि अगर बहुत कई दिन धूप नहीं निकले तो you feel low, you feel
Yes,
depressed,
sir.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You feel depressed. Preferably in India and in Europe also, they go for sunbathing. Human beings, living beings need sunlight. If
Yes.
there is a paucity of sunlight, your well-being is affected, your mood is affected. You're not happy for no reason, for no definite reason, only because the sunlight is not there for many days. And
Then
then
what is the reason behind it, sir? Why we think so that today's climate is good, then we will feel confident.
because we are designed in such a way, there are many elements, there are many, sunlight has many benefits for us. That is, that kills pathogens, that elevates. We are designed in that way. Human being, we are not designed to live in dark places.
Yes, sir.
If you take a bat, chamgadad, chamgadad is happy in, a bat is happy in dark places, but we are not happy because we are not designed in that way. Our evolution was not in a way that we need sunlight to be happy to survive. Plants need sunlight. We also need sunlight. Too much sunlight is bad, but an amount of sunlight we need. And then these days, one more aspect of research and one more aspect of well-being has come up. Many researchers are there. That is thermal comfort. Thermal comfort. Mainly, this research is on offices. What is thermal comfort? You need an optimum temperature. Human beings need around 20 to around 40-degree temperature. We are happy. We are comfortable. Below this, if the temperature goes below 20 degree, 15, 10, 5, a minus, then we are shivering, isn't it? We shiver. And the temperature, if the temperature goes above 40 degree, then if the temperature goes above 40 degree, then
We sweat.
we sweat and we are uncomfortable.
Yes.
Sometimes we get sick. So we have a, depending upon the person and depending upon the region, we need this temperature range, 20 to 40 degree almost. That is optimum temperature. Too much temperature is bad. And sometimes you're feeling cold and you switch on a heater. After some time, what happens? Perhaps if you have switch on a blower that blows warm air or hot air, then what happens after some time? Have you experienced it? Yes. What happens? Yes, क्या होता है अगर आप blower काफी देर बाद चला दें? What happens? Yes, Affan, what happens? You feel suffocated because it eats up that blower, that there is a coil in the blower which is burning almost red hot. It eats up your oxygen. So sometimes oxygen level of your room or your office is below optimum. So you're feeling suffocated and you are feeling uncomfortable.
It smell like bubbling. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes?
Yes, sir. It's also different. It smell different, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Smell is, and you feel suffocated, and smell is very depending on the person. किसी को बहुत जल्दी है ये चीज हो जाती है, किसी को देर में हो जाती है. नाउ वी कैन हम कुछ वी कैन थिंक ऑफ सम फैक्टर्स. व्हाट आर द मेन